Hello, everybody, and welcome to Frankenstein's podcast. We are a creature feature podcast about monsters and why we love them. I'm one of your hosts, Joe Praska, and with me, as always, is
your other host, Khalid Hussain.
Hey, Khalid, how's it going?
It's going good. I'm gravy, baby. How are you?
I'm pretty good. I was hoping that you were groovy, but that's okay.
You got me in my head about it, man. Like, I'm very self-conscious now.
Yeah, I hear your cat.
Yeah, he wants to come in because he knows we're having all the fun in here. But if we do, he will be relentlessly in our face.
He'll be on everything, right?
Exactly. He's a little baby still, so understandable, but not conducive to a good podcast convo.
Yeah, it's all right.
So guess what, Joe?
What?
We have a special guest today. I'm the one telling you this time. How's that for a table turn?
Oh, wow. The tables have turned indeed.
That's a lazy Susan, baby. Our guest today is one of my best friends for a long time, an old podcast co-host of mine from my Welcome to Atlanta podcast days. This is a longtime editor, even longer time buddy, Erik Kollasch. Say what up.
What up, everybody?
Hey, Erik.
How's it going, Joe?
Good. Thanks for being on.
Of course, man. I'm so excited for this. Like, I've been asking Khalid for months to get onto this. You guys have...
He dibs the thing really early on. Like, he heard a monster podcast and was like, I get the thing.
Yeah, this has been in the works for a while.
You got to.
Hey, man, you picked a good one. We're going to get into it, but this movie is definitely a goat.
Yeah, it was a good choice, Erik.
Thank you.
So I don't know how much of the podcast you've listened to, but we have a few first-time guest questions.
Ooh, I have listened to a few, but throw them at me.
He's only saying that because I have him at gunpoint.
All right, fair enough. So the first question is a double question, two-parter. What in all of pop culture, so that includes movies, books, television, anything, what have you, what's your favorite monster, creature, or beast? And to follow that up, if it's not the same, what do you consider the scariest?
Ooh, that's a very good question. I'm gonna have to go with one of my favorite horror films, Slither. The monster from Slither. I'm big on aliens, and that one is just so cool to me. That the hive mind mentality, like, I just can't imagine what it would feel like to be taken over and then like getting zapped and seeing that, you know, that perspective of the hive mind.
Is that the James Gunn one?
Yes.
Nice. Yeah, I haven't seen it, but I don't know, these weekly horror movie, monster movie watches are making me a little bit more like okay with a movie that like grossed me out when I saw the trailers for it.
Hell yeah. And then as far as like scariest, I don't know, man. That's a hard question. I mean, the Thing was definitely like a scary concept, similar thing. I mean, just the most disgustingly like oozy, gory creatures are the best for me. I don't know. I don't really get scared a lot. I'm a tough guy.
We're just gonna move past that.
We'll let that sit. Yeah.
Yeah. Nobody here has any problems with that statement.
I kind of get it though. At this point, I feel like with all the monsters that we watch, like I'm often like not scared from them anymore because I'm just more like interested. I'm like, oh, what's like the backstory there, or how can I like talk about this or dig into this monster? When I think about that question, I always go back to like what was like the scariest to me when I was a kid, usually.
Oh yeah.
And I'm with you kind of like some of the goopy and gory ones because I was like, oh, it just makes me so uncomfortable.
Yeah. I mean, for me, it's always been like aliens. I always had a fear when I was a kid that like an alien would be like coming through the window to abduct me. And also like a fear of, I guess, like just, you know, like supernatural things like witchcraft and, you know, possession, things like that.
Like the occult kind of stuff.
Yes. Yeah, that freaks me out.
Yeah, that is pretty scary.
Yeah, but I guess it's not technically a monster, so I can't really like say that. All right, do you guys cover any of that, or is it just strictly monsters?
We're monsters, baby. We keep it focused.
We are, yeah, monsters, but like sometimes monsters go into the occult at times. I mean, we'll get to there. Maybe demons.
Oh yeah, Hellraiser. Hellraiser's a great one.
Yeah, Hellraiser.
Love that.
Right. That's a good one. Good choice. Next question. What is like what's your on your like geek card? Like what do you consider you feel geeky about?
Oh man, I mean, compared to Khalid right here, my geek card is weak. It's just pretty much unstamped. But in my opinion, I mean, for me, I'm a huge fan of Star Wars is the classic, and basically now, I mean, I'm very obsessed with cryptocurrencies. That's, I mean,
Very like
really.
Literally haven't had a conversation that doesn't go into it in weeks.
Yeah. And my obsessions change constantly. So right now it's cryptocurrency. As far as like movies go, I'm really obsessed with the Safdie brothers. Like we're literally sitting underneath a photo of them on my wall right now. And also music. I love music, and I get deep into that sometimes.
Okay. Are you like a record player kind of guy? CD, digital preference?
No, I'm too poor for that. I just passed that whole thing, and I'm just a streamer, you know.
Oh, nice. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, cool. I mean, cryptocurrency is a new answer for us. I don't think anyone said that before. So, congrats.
Thank you.
Should we jump into the topic at hand?
Let's do it.
Let's jump. All right. Today we are talking about the 1982 John Carpenter film, The Thing, which if you ever try to Google anything about is incredibly difficult. Just even if you do The Thing movie, you're going to get a bunch of stuff that isn't what you're looking for. That's just a quick frustrating aside from somebody who tried to do research.
Or in your words, cheating.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. I do not fundamentally understand what studying is, so I assume I was cheating when I looked all this up. So we're going to get our synopsis from our homeboy Google, and it goes a little something like this. In remote Antarctica, a group of American research scientists are disturbed at their base camp by a helicopter shooting at a sled dog. When they take in the dog, it brutally attacks both human beings and canines in the camp, and they discover that the beast can assume the shape of its victims. A resourceful helicopter pilot, Kurt Russell, and the camp doctor, Richard Dysart, lead the camp crew in a desperate, gory battle against the vicious creature before it picks them all off one by one.
Beautifully read.
A couple stumbles.
What a monster.
They're creatures of the abstract that live off potential energy.
It's alive!
So, Eric, since you brought this to us, and you recommend this, why don't you go ahead and give us like your thoughts? Like, I'm guessing you like it, right?
I hate this movie.
Oh my God.
That's why I wanted to
He was
trash it.
seething the whole time we watched it. Barely touched his second bowl of popcorn.
Yeah, I did. I literally had 2 bowls of popcorn. Well, the second bowl I had was we actually did a double feature with this. 2 Carpenter, Kurt Russell movies. We followed this one up with Big Trouble in Little China.
Also slaps.
Choice.
That movie also slaps.
Yeah. So, I mean, I do love this movie, and I was really excited to see Khalid watch it for the first time and just enjoy this. We had a whole, we had a group of us watching it together. Well, a few, not.
No, we had like 20. We had 20 people that were just like sneezing in each other's faces every 5 seconds. No, yeah, it was
just roommates.
It was 4 of us. It was just the roomies.
Yeah. But I freaking love this movie. This is actually only the second time I've seen it, but I just remember loving it so much. We actually have a poster of it in the house. Funny thing,
our only movie poster.
That's sarcasm if you can't tell, because we have just every surface space on this house is a poster, even the ceilings.
Yeah, if you know nothing else about us walking into the house, you know we are cinephiles.
Yeah. And fun fact about this poster I just looked up, actually it was made in under 24 hours by the guy who made the poster for the original Star Wars and Back to the Future posters. And he made it in 24 hours, and he had no idea. He'd never seen the movie, and the only thing he heard was just like a short synopsis. That's why it's like, the head is glowing and it doesn't really match up with what it is. But
actually, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I never even realized that. Yeah, like what's with the glowing head?
I was wondering that too. Yeah, well, that explains a lot.
Yeah. So anyway, I don't know. I love this movie. I love the paranoia that sets in. No one trusts anyone. The whole thing is, people are getting picked off one by one. And I love how fast it gets going. Like there's no time where anyone, once they kind of discover the spaceship and they do the initial test, everyone's like on board and they're like, okay, this thing is here and any one of us could already be infected.
Yeah, 100% agree. I wrote this down too. I just appreciate how this movie doesn't waste time with having to convince everybody of what's going on. It's just like, okay, this is it now. How we're going to deal with it?
Absolutely.
So, Khalid, first time watching. What did you think?
First time. Excuse me. I really, 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 really like this movie. It's such a just like, I don't know, something about the way that like what Eric was mentioning about the paranoia and all of that. It just feels like a fundamentally American movie. How quickly everyone's at each other's throats, not really through any fault of their own. Like there's antagonists in the group, but like when you start the movie and when you see how they like cohabitate and stuff like that, it's like a best case scenario. A bunch of dudes out in like this very hostile environment, like making the best of it. They seem to be making the best of it. And it's this thing immediately like rips that relationship to shreds in such a familiar way. Like I feel like as Americans, like because of just like our general culture, like it's not really community oriented, despite what certain political parties want you to think. It's very much an individualistic society, which is jarring for me because being like I was born in Ethiopia, came here when I was 2, but a lot of like that culture and those values and priorities, like I saw in my like community, and I'm sure other people who are like have like non-American family also recognize how different it is. There isn't really a like we're all in this together pragmatism to like crisis, for example. It very much is run to the nearest grocery store and take like all essential things. Like it's you or it's you and nobody else. Like that kind of mentality. And this movie just really underscores what a disadvantage that puts you at. Outside of that, yeah, like the acting is awesome. The monster design, which we'll get into, is so fantastic. The location is so perfect for like just making a bad situation worse in the best way. Yeah, like I'd grown up just like obviously hearing about The Thing and Carpenter in general, which I'm kind of a novice to, but man, like he has more than earned the hype that I've been like fed over the years. Chef's kiss, great movie. Thank you for picking it, Eric.
Of course. And I'll add to that the paranoia thing. I'd say that the timeline kind of adds to this. The fact that this is kind of middle of the Cold War. You know what I mean? Like people are, this is after all the, suspicions of like your fellow Americans, like, oh, they might be a communist, report them, and they say that multiple times in the movie, like keep a close eye on whoever you're with. Like, don't trust anyone, very, very hype. What
about you, Joe? What are your feelings on this movie?
Of course, I also love it. This is a great movie. This wasn't one that I was as into when I was younger as say like Aliens or Predator per se, but it was kind of up there. I kind of consider it like one of those greats, like creature feature greats. But I really got more into it having been older. I saw it. I hadn't watched it since I was a kid, and a couple years ago I went and saw it again at a midnight showing at a theater nearby my house, which was a lot of fun. Kind of reinvigorated my love for it, so I was really excited to watch it here. I actually got a kind of a special edition Blu-ray of it recently from Shout Factory, and so I was able to watch some of the special features this time around, and that was kind of insightful. And so I'll dig into some of the stuff I got from that when we talk about the monster specific. But yeah, it's a cool, yeah. If you're a physical media guy, like I would recommend it. It's a cool set. But yeah, no, I really liked it. It's pretty much only positive things. I mean, there's probably some things people could pick apart, but it's just fun. Like there's a little bit like just a gentle layer of camp in this movie that I think just, it doesn't go too far to being silly, but like, I mean, Kurt Russell's, he's like an Antarctic cowboy, right? He seems like he's never dressed for the actual Arctic, which is, it's kind of funny, but it also works.
Can we just give praise to that hat?
Yes. Yes.
I didn't even try to look up any background on it. I want to believe that Kurt, because I did look up like Kurt Russell was literally the last person cast in this thing, which is crazy. But I want to believe that they were so into production that he basically just like landed the plane, and then like he flew himself. He landed it, and, like walked right onto set with the hat and dared anybody to say anything, because that is such a just strong wardrobe choice for your action lead.
Yeah, it's canon now, Khalid. Thanks.
I love it. And the guy with the roller skates, just perfect.
Yes.
Coolest dude in the movie.
Yeah.
Oh my God. He gets like easily the coolest intro in the movie.
Yeah.
Just that long take, just to like lean into the room and say one word, and then it cuts away to somebody else. Like it's not even he doesn't like it's not anything like critical or anything. It was just a cool shot Carpenter wanted to do.
One thing I kind of wanted to touch on, Khalid, you mentioned this. You said like the cast of characters and the group of people. It's just it's a bunch of dudes. You said. Do either of you have any thoughts on why it was chosen to just be all men, an all male cast?
That's a good question. I don't know that I even thought of that, which is really just a example of me not checking my biases more often. But dang, that's a really good question. I guess, Eric, do you have anything on that? Like, what do you think?
I mean, just in general, I'm thinking that, this is the 80s, and these people are, back then science was super male dominated, still is. And being locked up in a place with no contact with anyone else doesn't seem like, I mean, I don't want to like project anything onto women, but like, it doesn't seem like, I mean, I don't know what I'm saying. Now I feel like I'm saying the wrong thing.
I mean, I think if I can like kind of piggyback off that thought, I think it's like just, I don't know if it was intentional, but it's a really good examination of just like the like regression, the primal regression that comes from this kind of a story with a monster that basically like makes it so that you can't trust anything and you're just like left with your instincts. And I guess if I was hazarding a guess, I would say that would be Carpenter's endgame with that, is like showing like a little more easily through like men, that like primal, like hostile thing. I don't know. I guess women at least are viewed as more rational, and that like it might not have gone the way that the story did if there were women involved in it. But who knows? Maybe. Though, I mean, it's the 80s. I guess just cooties is the real answer.
I guess you could compare it to one of his other films, Assault on Precinct 13. Have you guys seen that?
No, I saw the Ethan Hawke remake.
Oh, I don't know about that. But I read an article about this, and I guess the article is trying to make the case that the sort of like you were saying, like this primal instincts, it's meant to kind of like paint a picture of like masculinity and crisis when confronted with that paranoia. I thought that was kind of interesting. I also found out there is only one actual moment where there is a woman actor doing something for this film, and it's the voice of the chess wizard game that Kurt Russell's playing, who actually is voiced by Carpenter's then wife, Adrienne Barbeau. Fun fact.
Yeah. Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
And Khalid kind of pointed something. He was like, why would in the very beginning, when he loses the game, he just dumps his whiskey onto the computer and breaks it? Like,
it makes a lot more sense if he's just like being hostile to a woman, I guess.
Many lenses we can look at this through.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, they're like, there's one girl in this, we're gonna find a way to be like crappy to her. Which I don't know. It was just like weird because like at that point, like nothing had even happened.
Yeah, that's an expensive computer.
Yeah, back then, like that computer would have cost so much money, and they're on a research facility. I know he's just a helicopter pilot, but like if I was one of the scientists and I came in and Kurt Russell told me he dumped whiskey on the computer because it beat him at chess, like I don't know, man. Between that and the hat, I would just be like, you might need to just like figure your stuff out, Kurt.
So I don't know how much you guys know about like the other iterations of the Thing. Other than this, like this is kind of the definitive take, but this is a lot of people say this is a remake of the 1951 movie, which is The Thing from Another World. I think Carpenter himself doesn't consider this to be a remake. He he thinks of this more as so that was like an adaptation of the book, which is called like Who Goes There by John W. Campbell Jr. But I think Carpenter thinks of this as more of a just another interpretation of that book, because he grew up a really big fan of the old 50s movie. So he's like, I don't want to remake that. I just kind of want to do something different in a totally kind of new vein. But have either of you seen that original movie?
No.
So there's also a sequel, which I'm sure people know about. It's a prequel, the 2011 one just called The Thing Again, which is based in the Norwegian camp that gets attacked before this movie. Any of you guys seen that?
No, but is it good?
I've heard bad things. I haven't seen it. I don't know. I just wanted to acknowledge its existence. There's also a technically canon video game that takes place right after this movie too, and I think John Carpenter was actually more involved with the video game, I think, than the prequel movie. So I think that has more of his blessing. So I don't know much about the other stories, and I kind of feel like this is one of those movies where I almost don't want it to be expanded on too much. I just think that this one is, I don't want it to get the Alien treatment where I feel like we're getting too much,
I mean, it's basically a Twilight Zone episode. Like you can't build a franchise on something like that. Like all of those are like pretty self-enclosed, like full stories that have a kind of morality attached to it. Like expanding on that world almost certainly like would undermine whatever you were trying to say to begin with.
Right. You just start to like look at more logical holes. You could probably poke into it. You probably have to like take away some of the mystery to it, and it would lose a lot of its luster.
Right.
Definitely. Yeah.
This also was like commercially and critically a flop when it came out in 1982.
Yeah, I was surprised. I read that today and I was like, really? Like how? I don't get it.
I don't know, man. Like it took this podcast for me to even see it, and everybody's saying its praises. Like there is something about like when you start to understand what it's about and like what like it's most known for how grotesque it gets. Like I'm not like a big like horror person. I'm more of a passive observer of it, even like discussing it as often as I do now. So like I get why it was hard to market.
Mm-hmm. And it was competing against E.T. Like, I mean, they're different movies, but like that was dominating the box office that year.
Yeah, I'm sure everybody's trying to like take their like kids and little brothers and whatnot to see movies. You can't take them to this.
Or you could, but
no, you could. You're just gonna scar them.
Yeah.
Oh man, but yeah, this movie is so good. Like, just I was not prepared for how young Keith David would look in it. It was like jarring. Like I'm sure I missed a part of the movie just like processing that young Keith David. Like he was young. Like I've only ever known him as like the salt and pepper haired like snappy dude. So it was really cool. He had like a really understated role. The dude from the Warriors, Windows, he was really good in this. Props to Dr. Blair or Blair, the doctor or the scientist, not the doctor.
That's Wilford Brimley, right?
He was amazing. Like that scene when he is just like looking at the computer, the world's most sophisticated computer that can like give you projections on an alien virus attacking the Earth on minimal information at that point. Like the way it was like going down and like you just like follow his thought process and he doesn't have to say a single word. Like it just all reads on his face. It was just, yeah, well done. Like so good. One more thing, just because I'm kind of on a roll here. The location itself, I know I kind of touched on it, but like it is such a like fully realized like world by the time we're through it, and like they really do a good job of utilizing every space and like turning it into a huge action set piece. So many sick explosion shots. Like
yes,
Michael Bay could never. Michael Bay could never.
I heard they actually blew up the base and then they used that same location to film the Norwegian base later. So when they go to that burned down base, that's just the same base.
That's so dope.
Yeah.
Ah.
And I love when they uncover it, where they go to the spaceship site and they walk up, just the epic like wide shot of that massive ship sitting in the ice.
Yeah.
And they're like, it's 100,000 years old. Like how deep it is. Like that's, it's just so epic.
Okay. I got a fun fact for you now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is another thing I watched on the Blu-ray release, the special feature. There's an interview with a woman named Susan Turner. So even though there was not really women on screen, apparently they had women like in the VFX department, and she's actually was one of the only like miniature makers in Hollywood like at this time who was a woman. So it was kind of like she was talking about how it was a really big deal that she was hired for this like studio picture by John Carpenter. But anyway, she's the one who designed the ship, the spaceship, and she talks about how much effort went into like creating it for just to kind of map it onto that, and then to like make the miniature for that like 10-second opening scene of the spaceship crashing into Earth. Like all the lights. It's all a real like miniature spaceship. Like she made the lights inside that move and change. They use like brass rings around it, and this is before 3D printers, so they had to like mold and craft all that stuff. And I was like, it's just like a tiny thing you'd think. It's actually really impressive, and I don't know. I thought that was cool. Yeah.
Yeah. I when I was a PA, I worked on this D&D show called D20, and they had the art department had to make a bunch of miniatures because like the whole thing was like they would have the miniatures like act out the story as it was going. So like they had like miniature like schools, miniature battlefields, and all of these things that they were painting, and they were just doing it in this like little garage in Santa Monica. And it's like that's what I love about production, is just like these like scrappy like creatives that just make like something out of nothing, and like they'll like accidentally like invent new methods and techniques just like for the sake of like doing their job at the moment.
Props to the prop makers.
Props to the, honestly, like I've said it before, I'll say it again. Like when it comes to just like amount of work asked of you in a day on a production set, no other department has anything on our department. Like some of the asks they get, it's just be sure to thank the art department more often if you're a fan of movies, because they are the ones that create the world you love so much.
Before we jump into the monster itself, I feel like we just got to touch a little bit on the chest chomp scene.
Oh my God. How is that not the chest burster that everybody talks about?
Yeah, it's this movie's chest burster, right?
Yeah, this is like, this should be the definitive. I mean, I understand Alien came out before it, but this is some like, that one's scary too, especially like if it's the first time you've seen it, but this one is like scary and then continuously scary.
They actually, so for that role, the actor who played the doc in that scene wasn't actually doing that. They actually had an actor who was an amputee, a double amputee, and wore a mask to look like the doctor, like just kind of, and like the side, like a profile. And so when he stuck his hands in there, like the prosthetic hands came off, so like to add to the effect.
Dude, if a guy with no arms wore a mask on my face, I'd be so just so disturbed.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool though.
Yeah.
And I do love that whenever I do love when like movies hire like people that normally wouldn't get cast in movies because of a disability or something like that. The one I can think of is Battleship. They hired like real military amputees for a lot of the roles, I think.
Like the one that was based on the game?
With Rihanna?
No, the other movie, Battleship.
No, Potemkin.
Yeah, Battleship Potemkin. Yeah. It was especially confusing they used military vets in that one.
But yeah, anyway, just got to sing the praises of that scene. That's an awesome moment.
Yeah, one last thing before we get to the monsters for me. I love the story they tell with the Norwegians just like examining it and investigating what happened there. It was so striking seeing the guy that like killed himself and his blood froze.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Just like long bloody icicles and stuff like that. Like it was like so good. Like it was just like you could just tell like I mean a whole other movie did occur there now because of the prequel, but like in that moment, like the universe was so fully realized they had like a whole other story they didn't need to get to.
Yeah, and I love the way that they started off with just the dog running, and you're like, what's going on here? Like, why are they trying to shoot this dog? Like, at first I was like, is this a wolf or what? And then and then it just unfolds so fast.
Yeah, man, the movie just jumps into it. It's like this crazy dude with a gun comes in trying to shoot the dog. They shoot him, and boom,
he shoots one of them.
The insanity has commenced. Like, it's so good. And then like we could go on and on about it. I just loved all of it.
Yeah.
I was watching it. I was watching this the other night with Nikki, and she had never seen it either. And I like the whole opening sequence with the dog and the shooting back and forth, and the guy, yelling in Norwegian, no one knowing what's going on at all, no communication. She was just like, I can't handle this. This is so wild.
She's not wrong. You should show her Big Trouble in Little China if she thinks this is wild.
No, we gotta watch that next. Yeah.
God, oh my God. Just like, I know we're going to talk about that movie eventually, but I won't get into it, but I love what Kurt Russell's character turns out to be. It's so unexpected and like so format breaking, even like way before anybody was asking to break that format.
We'll have to do that on the podcast sometime.
Yeah, I would love to talk about that on the cast.
Maybe Eric should just be our definitive Carpenter guest.
Carpenter
Dude,
and Kurt Russell.
I would be honored. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
One other thing I wanted to say was like the dog was a great actor. I mean, he was so well trained. Like when he enters the cage and the way he walks in and sits down, like staring at the wall, it's so creepy. Like I don't know how they got him to do that, and all the other dogs are like looking at him, like just really great. I don't know what you would call that, like animal wrangling. You know what I mean?
Animal wranglers, like some of their pets are like so well trained, it's like eerie.
Yeah, this one was definitely eerie.
It's kind of nice to know too. Apparently, John Carpenter is a fan of animals, so he made sure that the Humane Society was present, and so like there was no harm of animals that we might sometimes worry about in that era of movie making.
Yeah.
Oh, good guy, John.
Yeah. So I thought that was cool.
All right, you remain uncanceled, Mr. Carpenter.
We'll see what we find.
You're on notice.
Right. Should we monster?
Yeah. Let's do it. Let's monster.
All right. So I'm gonna dig into monster in universe first, and then we can go into some more of the technical out of universe, like how it was created stuff. How's that sound?
Love
Perfect.
It.
All right. So from my like understanding from the movie and stuff I read outside of the movie, what we know about the thing is that it has no inherent anatomy as we would know it. It assimilates and copies organisms on a cellular level. So assimilation's instincts seem to be carried kind of on a genetic level. So as we learn in the blood test scene, every piece of it is, in a sense, a whole, right? So like every part of it tries to act with defense mechanisms to preserve itself. And hence when the blood jumps out at Kurt Russell, which also another amazing scene.
Probably the best scene for me.
Yeah, it's kind of like I feel like it's like the crux of that movie.
Screamed. So like I knew. Here's the thing. Like this movie is so pop culturally pervasive that I'd heard about the blood sampling thing. I'd seen parodies of it like on South Park and stuff. So I went into it knowing essentially what would happen, but the extremity with which it like did it, like it went for it. Like I wasn't expecting a bloody little head with a mouth to like screech. I screamed. That's like we've seen how many of these in the last year, Joe. I've never screamed at any of the jump scares I've seen in these movies. This is the first time. Like I was like shook and like upset.
I can confirm this. I witnessed all of this.
I love that. I wonder like how, I feel like he can't be. I was gonna say, I wonder how actually surprised Kurt Russell was at that scene, but maybe I feel like there's got to be some sort of effects work to like have that happen that he must have been aware of.
I mean, I read that a lot of the VFX and stuff like that had to be done in post. So like half the time they weren't even looking at what we were looking at.
That's true. I'll definitely get into that too.
Yeah.
a little bit more about the monster. The intelligence of it is sort of in question, but there's a lot of theories that kind of seem to think that the larger it is, the more intelligent it is. So like it splits and it becomes multiple, like it's multiple creatures when it's split, right? Like, so it can be like a couple different people at once, but like when it's just a small single celled, like not single celled, but like a tiny thing like the blood, it's acting purely on self-defense. But when it's able to sort of like actually copy and build up and become a person, like it's able to be more intelligent. And like at the end, when you see it, like it's got like elements of the dog, it's got elements of people. So like the theory is that at that point, it's a lot more intelligent and kind of plotting because it's sneaking around, right?
Yeah, that was one of the scariest things for me, knowing that like, oh, this thing not only can replicate a human being, but like, I mean, I don't know if we ever saw this, but like it can actually speak and think like a human being and imitate who they were. Did we ever see that in play out? Like, well, I feel like every time we did, they were kind of a little bit altered, a little bit, the guy with the giant hands, and he was just kind of like screaming.
Well, the dude that got tied up,
oh yeah, you're right.
During the blood test.
Yes.
Yeah.
Palmer.
He was talking. He was like normal.
Yeah.
I watched the movie understanding the thing as more like a virus, like akin to a zombie bite. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I don't necessarily even know that there's like any intellect or like anything you could ascribe to it that you would like a typical movie villain, outside of it's just the thing killing everyone. And its goal is as straightforward as just do this to the whole planet and spread my like virus.
It's a good point, Clete. Actually, I was thinking the same thing. I was thinking virus for a while. Like I hadn't thought about that before this time watching through, but I actually was wondering if like the spaceship that crashes, like when you see it in the beginning, it's kind of like wobbly. I'm wondering if the thing isn't actually flying the spaceship. It's like the thing like infected whatever was in the spaceship.
That's a good point.
Probably. Like I understand it as it just goes planet to planet infecting it. It doesn't. It was probably just like a cold on its native planet, and then somebody who shouldn't have got it, and it mutated.
Damn. Yeah. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, it kind of makes it an interesting context to the beginning.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. In the book, so in the novel that it's based on, the Who Goes There, the thing is actually this thing has a true form. So this has changed for the movie, of course, but there's a true form, and the true form in the book is like a blue-haired creature with like 3 red eyes. It still transforms and like mutates and becomes other things, but that's its like base form, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah, I heard one thing I read about it was that originally Carpenter and the writers were trying to make it like they wanted it to just have a certain look to it that was, just unique. And then the guy who did the special effects, I think his name is Botan. Do you know this guy?
I think that's the name.
Botine, I found out. Yeah.
Yeah, so he was the one who came up with the idea of let's have this thing constantly mutating and changing, and every time you see it, it looks different. And that to me is one of the reasons why this movie is so great, because why the monster is so great, because like it has, dog inside of that massive blob body plus human heads, and it has like, sometimes it's got like tentacles whipping around, and then the spider legs that split out of it. It's just everything you'd want in a monster, all in one.
Spider head was my favorite. Upside down spider head was my favorite. Mostly because it feels like, especially how immediately they resolve it, it almost feels like a gag. Like, just these guys already think they've seen the worst of it with the monster just like exploding everywhere, and then they turn around and it also can just turn the decapitated head into another thing. They gotta like, it's like come on now, this like we don't have enough to deal with. Like there's just a little look of not fear but like exasperation and shock that most of them like were exhibiting was so funny to me.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah. Well, Eric, what was your favorite iteration of the monster?
I gotta say probably the spider too, but I did love the dog when they first found it in the cage.
Oh, when it just like lays down and splits open like a watermelon.
Yeah, and just all the mini tentacles that are just like whipping around, and
the poor
it's
doggos.
so gross. Yeah,
those dogs are screaming for their lives.
Yeah, and they had that one dog, like it was trained so well it bit a hole in the fence, and I was like, is that thing actually biting metal and like ripping it off? Like, or is that like, obviously if the Humane Society was involved,
they were probably cutting it and dressing
like rubber. Yeah, it looked so real. I was just like, this dog is really just ripping the cage open.
Mhm. Yeah, that's a good one. The Palmer monster too, like when the guy turns into the monster like right after the blood test that one was pretty cool too.
Oh,
Ooh,
yeah.
yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
so gross.
I know. I got to give
Yeah,
it to the spider head too. I think that's my favorite overall though.
Spiderhead is so cool. The best part is the head's upside down.
Yes.
That's so it looks like a whole because like it grows eyes out of the bottom of the head. Like,
Yeah.
just so freaky. It almost looks like what was it? The Real Monster is the one that always like holds his eyes up. Or is that
yeah.
it looked like that's almost what it looked like. And I was just like,
Or like the Del Toro. I remember you mentioned
oh yeah, I was like, Del Toro must have just like been born of this movie. Like,
yeah.
I don't know. Like it just like a light switch flipped in his head. And it's like, gross shit.
This is my thing now.
Yeah. Should we do it? Should we dig into some of the actual effects work here?
Let's do it.
Yeah.
So Eric, like you were saying, the most of the makeup and effects were designed by Rob Bottin, which is looks like it's written, it's like Botten, but apparently that's how it's pronounced. But he was 22 at the time when he did all this.
Oh yeah, I read that he had double pneumonia and he had like ulcers from the stress because he was living on set and just 24/7 building this thing, and he did a lot of the work himself.
Yeah, and he was super behind. That's why they had to do a lot of the stuff post.
For the record, nobody ever worked that hard, even for a movie that's going to be iconic. Just don't do that. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like that's just like a capitalist like mindset of like literally, if you're not willing to die for your job, what are you doing? Like,
I mean, if you got an opportunity to work with one of your favorite filmmakers, you're telling me you wouldn't like give it 110%
of my body, like
yeah,
just no, like in the same way that I wouldn't let my favorite director shoot me, you know?
right.
Fair point.
I guess you just don't care enough.
I guess they're not really my favorite.
You're not committed enough.
Yeah, that's the problem here.
Yeah. But yeah, so he did most of the designs. However, the only one that he didn't do, Eric, you might find this interesting, is the dog monster. He actually wasn't available for that one, and Stan Winston actually stepped in and did that uncredited. I
did read that. Yeah.
Yeah. That's cool. I thought.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, and that goes to show like that guy's obviously very talented, and that's why that dog monster looks so great.
I don't know how talented he is. He didn't even get double pneumonia doing it.
I know. I guess that goes to show you don't have to work that hard to still pull it off. But
yeah,
apparently he went uncredited because he didn't even want. He was like, I respect this guy so much that I'm just gonna, you take the credit for most of this.
You better give him the credit. He was at death's door for this movie.
So it's interesting to kind of look at the different sort of iterations of the creature and like some of the stuff that went into making each version kind of unique and different. The first thing we kind of see of it is that corpse that they bring in. Remember that? The first one they like do the autopsy on?
Yeah, that really reminded me of Alien. I was like, it seems like they kind of pulled this from Alien. Like you bring the body in, you see it, you kind of realize, okay, this thing is dangerous, but you don't really know how dangerous until the dog.
This definitely feels, I mean, it does its own thing, definitely. But yeah, it feels very much like Alien was such a hit. This needs to be the next thing.
Yep.
Inspired by, I'm sure, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But that first corpse thing they had, this fun, interesting thing about that. So the split face that they had, we see the two faces,
yeah,
was actually based off a clay pressing of the actor Robert Picardo, who, if you don't know, he plays the Doctor in Star Trek Voyager, and he was one of the werewolves in The Howling. And Bottin had worked on The Howling before that, so he had like a clay press of his face, and he used that to make that face.
Very resourceful.
Yeah, so I thought
the Two-Face thing was that stuck in my mind too. Like there's
something about
grotesque.
It was a little too plasticky for me. Like it looks a little too rock solid, but it was frozen for who knows how long,
True.
And one thing I was interested in was I was like, why does it look like it's smoking when they put the body in? But I was like, oh, it's the steam coming off because it's frozen, and that was just a great touch.
Yeah, they have a lot of strong attention to detail. I also like how it meandered around before we got to the split face too, like at the very end.
Mm-hmm.
One of the other interesting ones. So the chest chomp scene that we were talking about earlier, they actually had to create a fiberglass dummy of the actor who played that, Charles Hallahan. They actually like painstakingly recreated the hair pattern on his chests, and then like created like prosthetics and viscera and multiple body moldings and like a hydraulic rig that was ultimately clamping down from his chest, like the made up chest. So he actually had to like be he was in a harness beneath the suit, so like he could like act for a little bit before they replaced the head.
Damn. That's impressive.
Absolutely wild. But the spider head itself, so after that, was actually a combination of a mechanical head for close-ups and like a radio controlled device to make it look like it's moving. But the veins, when it was pulling itself off, that green stuff was like melted plastic and bubblegum.
Wow. It looks so great when it's dripping down.
Yeah, they're using like mayonnaise and KY jelly and stuff. It's just like, ew.
I also love the scene when I can't remember which guy this is. The guy, I think he has red hair.
I think that's the same guy, right?
The one who like
the guy who
goes to the car to talk to Kurt Russell.
I think so. There's a guy. He's like working on a ladder, and then the guy from the Warriors comes in, and he's like, "All right, well, see you later," and he walks away and puts the sheet over the body, and then there's like the blood dripping down, like you can see it's coming alive.
Oh, is he the first one who gets taken over?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, that guy. Yeah.
Just great. Yeah, great effects with the oozing. It looks like it's it's dripping, but it's also like that's like tissue that's like growing too.
Yeah.
Right. And that's so that actor too, like when they find him, like before he was fully transformed, like he still had those like just wild hands, and then he makes that scream when they burn him.
That's, oh my god, I loved that.
That was chilling.
Incredible sound design.
It's so cool that they already, despite just being a research facility, were just like outfitted for alien warfare.
Yeah. They didn't even realize it, but like, oh yeah, we have 50 cans of gasoline. And
I feel like that's what a lot of the movies that like use like The Thing or Alien as a template nowadays kind of like miss the point of, is you want to be like bombastic with something like this. So like giving an excuse for your characters to like, despite the fact that like their jobs shouldn't require most of them to be like armed that heavily, like it just adds to the spectacle in such a great way, especially like in relation to the monster effects. Like on top of seeing how grotesque they are, seeing them like explode and catch fire is like such a visual.
God, incredible work. Like whoever the stuntmen were who were just like walking around on fire, like after they did the blood test and the guy just walks through the wall on fire.
And like in very small spaces too. Like if I was the crew, I don't understand how you like weren't a little freaked out by like this massive fire on a person.
Yeah. And I love how they have like all the they have the extinguishers ready to go. They've got everything they need, and then he's like, wait, let him burn a little bit more.
And it just makes the monster that much scarier when it's like, you realistically, like you couldn't find more prepared people for a situation like this. Like it could, I guess, like attack like a military base or something, but even they wouldn't be as prepared unless they had a stockpile of flamethrowers too. So like it's just like that much more fascinating how screwed they still were. Like what does the rest of the world stand a chance?
They don't. They don't. Fantastic.
The fact that like you're saying, Khalil, like they just like the explosions and the fire were like there was all real. A lot of the like practical props I don't think survived a lot of the filming of that stuff.
Damn.
4 words for you guys. Yeah. Michael Bay could never.
One thing I also did love about this movie was the cinematography, like the lighting with like when they're walking around outside with like a flare and that's the single source of light and it's like glowing on their face and everything else is just dark blue behind them. So stark and just beautiful.
Yeah. And then indoors when the flares were going, it was like this cool purplish effect. Like, it was awesome. Just like a great use of color. I mean, Carpenter, like his framing is top notch. Like I noticed it more in Big Trouble in Little China, but like I wasn't looking at it as much in The Thing, but like still some striking shots, especially whenever they're outside and like you see the vastness of like how alone they are. It's not like most other movies where like, why don't you just like run to the cops? What cops? We have like one guy that's kind of the sheriff. I don't.
And immediately, I love how the doctor destroys all the communication equipment.
Yeah,
for a good reason too. And this is
they all like that's what I loved about this is like you pretty much understand from the beginning like none of you can leave. This is
like we all have to die here.
Yeah, this is a catastrophe of global proportions. if anybody leaves,
yeah. And that's you can just see that like in the Norwegians when they land the helicopter and they're just like they didn't even wait a second to just start firing.
I really think that Norwegian probably would have killed them all too, just to be safe.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh yeah, so I was bringing up the cinematography. Fun fact: the cinematographer also shot all the Back to the Future movies and Jurassic Park and Flubber and the Parent Trap.
Oh,
wow! You're doing your narrator voice at the end there. Eric's an editor, so like he sometimes does VO for the shows and stuff that he edits on. Yeah. That was his voice. I've heard it enough now that was his narrator voice, guys.
That's the voice. All right. I love it.
Oh, man.
I'll try to utilize it a bit more.
Did you have some more cool monster stuff? I feel like we cut you off there.
No. I mean, no, you didn't cut me off. I want it to be like a running combo, right?
Yeah. We got this.
I mean, the only other thing that I had was a little bit about the final form, which is the Blair thing. The actual final form, I mean, it was shot. A lot of like clever techniques with shooting, again to like probably cinematography and directing, but it's actually only 5 feet tall, but it was 8 feet around.
Oh wow!
Love it.
Yeah, but actually, so this wasn't in the original cut, but in the one that I watched, it had a little bit of it. There's actually some stop motion animation. Did you guys see that in your version?
I don't know if I caught any of that.
No.
It's like a little bit when like the tentacles come out and it kind of brings itself up from underneath. It came up from underground. There's like a little bit where you see like a little bit of stop motion. There's actually a ton more that was cut out of the movie, and it was. So Bottin actually went to like the animation effects artist Randall William Cook, who did a bunch of work for the Lord of the Rings trilogy, and worked with the miniature supervisor who I mentioned before, Susan Turner, to work, and they worked on a bunch of stop motion animation sequences for like hours, and only like a tiny bit made it in. So I kind of be interested to see more, but I wonder if that would be like kind of jarring with like what they already had.
On the Blu-ray, did they have like features like mini docs on set, or like what kind of features did you have on there?
Oh, there's a whole bunch. Lots of featurettes, lots of interviews. There was like I watched a 2016 interview with John Carpenter and another filmmaker, and just like them chatting at John Carpenter's house about the legacy of the movie, and that was really interesting. There's stuff there's a couple stuff with the cinematographer who you mentioned. Some featurettes with the like behind the scenes people. Some of the documentaries that came with the earlier like releases of the Blu-rays, but this one had like a couple updated ones. So there was a one disc that was just special features. There was like just a regular Blu-ray of the movie with some older special features, and then there's like the 4K the version as well.
That's cool. I got to check that out.
Oh yeah. Shout Factory has some good. It's a steelbook release from them. They have some good. They have big. I got Big Trouble from Little China from them too.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, I gotta ask you guys. Do you think Keith David was a thing?
Oh,
with the ending,
I'm gonna go there.
I love me an ambiguous ending because it lends itself to discussion.
Me too. For me, which I heard that when the ending hit, I had actually forgotten how abrupt it was, because I saw this like 10 years ago, when I was like in high school or something, and I had like this vague memory, which we actually were talking about the Mandela effect, where people have a shared memory that's like false. But I had a memory of them, like someone escaping on that snow machine, but it obviously wasn't true. But
there are alternate endings.
I've heard that
you might have seen one of the alternate endings.
Ooh.
And that could be like yeah. I mean, that could have been it.
It could have been.
But no. We're gonna go with this ending, the ambiguous one.
Yes.
Keith David is supposed to keep watch, and then he just like randomly runs out into the blizzard, and then he comes back after the monster's killed, and Kurt Russell's the only one left alive. And Kurt's like, "What'd you do? Where'd you go? Why'd you do that?" And the dude's like, "I thought I saw something, and then I came back." And he's like, "Okay." They both are like, "Okay, are you an alien?" Like they're both just looking at each other like, "Are you?" and they take us. He hands him the bottle of whiskey. He's just like, honestly, at this point, I'm so exhausted, like I don't even care anymore. And just like they just like drink and stare at each other, and you're just kind of left wondering. I mean,
It's very romantic.
I looked it up, and it's like the idea is that they're both kind of mutually agreeing they're just gonna like die there. But
Yeah, because there's no way they can escape at that point. Like, even if they had gotten on the snow machine, where could they go? They're in Antarctica. There might be another base nearby, but like they had to fly like miles to get to that other one.
yeah,
So-
like the odds. I mean, yeah, the rescue wasn't even scheduled until spring. Like
Yeah.
he was supposed to like hold out in the place he just blew up, so they're screwed. But I'm still curious. Eric? What do you think? Keith David, thing or no thing?
I don't think so. And here's why. I think he would have just instantly attacked. You know how earlier when they were in the circle, when they first watched the first guy die with the hands, I forget his name, but Kurt Russell says something along the lines of like, like I know that I'm not the thing, and I know.
Well, doesn't he have a flamethrower on him still?
He does, but he at that point he's like, I know that if any of you guys were the. Oh, I guess you're saying he could have defended himself.
Yeah, like that's what's stopping Keith David from just.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, but I was just gonna say the one thing he did say was he's like, I know that if all of you were the thing already, you would be attacking me right now because you would be able to overpower me. So that's in my case the way I believe. I think that it.
Okay. How about you, Joe?
I think he is not a thing. Also, and I'm not sure why. I think maybe it's just because I like it better that he's not. I don't know why. I like to think that they both made it to the end for some reason. It just makes me happier. But
and they can just die together.
Yeah, it's pleasant for me. But anyway, I did consider it though before this. I was thinking about like to your point, Eric, about why wouldn't you just attack him? I was thinking about it in terms of how some people think that after a while the thing is more intelligent, and we know that the thing can survive the cold. He just needs to kind of just go to sleep and like wait for longer. So my initial thought was maybe Keith David is the thing, and he knows that like the strategy of attacking isn't working anymore. So he's just like, I'm going to sit and wait him out. He's going to die. I'm going to fall asleep and then wake up again. So it's possible that's a new tactic that the thing's taking on. But
that's a good point.
But I think I'm still with. I think it's. I don't know. I don't know if the thing is well versed socially enough to be like. I don't know, to drink with everyone else. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know.
I read one interesting thing where, you know how he was making like Molotov cocktails to like light things on fire? Kurt Russell was. Yeah. And I read one interesting thing where they said, Kurt had that bottle of whiskey actually was full of gasoline for the Molotov cocktail. And that when he handed it to him and he saw him drink it, that's how he confirmed that he was the thing. And then immediately after the credits go, he probably killed him.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I heard that one too. That is
it's a speculation. It's no way to confirm that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's a good reason not to think it. I personally also don't think that he's a thing, but my answer is as shallow as I just love Keith David. Even his fictional characters, I only want the best for them. So I'm going to believe that he is not the thing because that would make me sad.
All right. That's the official Frankenstein's podcast stance, I guess. Keith David, not a thing.
Not a thing. I mean, he's a thing, but he's not a thing.
Not that thing.
Yeah.
A different thing.
Yeah.
You know, Khalid, you could actually do. You guys, I know you guys did the Kurt Russell John Carpenter double feature. You could do a Keith David John Carpenter double feature. Watch this, and then they live afterwards.
Ooh, I know. I really want to watch They Live. We discussed we're going to probably do that on the cast at some point.
Yeah.
We also have a poster of that movie.
You do?
Just assume any movie we've ever talked about, we have a poster of at this point. I'm not even kidding.
It's bad. Yeah.
Oh man. And then the last thing I want to talk about is the music, man. Ennio Morricone, man.
Won a Razzie.
What?
It won a Razzie, or was nominated for a Razzie. Yeah, this original score was nominated for a Razzie.
Razzies are that old?
Uh-huh.
It was like a cheeky thing that was like created in 2000.
Oh, it was apparently nominated for a Razzie back then. They didn't like it.
Wow.
I honestly, that was one thing I was going to say is you're pointing out how much you loved it, but I didn't even notice it. Like I heard it in a couple scenes where it stood out to me because I knew it was Morricone, and then a couple times I noticed it. But for the most part, I think he played it really subtle, and it was very like it doesn't stand out. It doesn't.
I think that's what I liked about
overpower.
it. Though,
yeah, I do like.
I liked it too. Yeah.
Yeah, because you can focus on the action. You don't, it's not like some kind of theme that comes in every time, you see it. It's just, supporting more than like leading.
A nomination, did not win. Wait, hold on.
he got snubbed at the Razzies.
Let me see. Maybe I'm wrong. He was nominated for the Razzie for Worst Musical Score for his work in The Thing. 33 years later, unused tracks from the same soundtrack were reused as part of the soundtrack for The Hateful Eight and won the Academy Award for Best Original Score.
Wow.
That's weird.
Huh.
Really?
Makes you think.
Yeah, got a lot to mull over here.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of mulling, Khalid. Speaking of mulling, sometimes bears tend to mull things over, in a contemplative kind of way. Four Bears test.
Yeah, you know what this is, right, Eric?
I do.
Yeah. So for those of you who don't know, the Four Bears test is just when I ask, what would happen if you replace the monster in the movie with four bears? Does that do anything to change the story? Does it affect the narrative? All that fun jazz. So with this movie, usually when I do the Four Bears test, it's usually just like a scale thing. Like I try to do it in regards to like the scale of the monster, and like typically that translates to like, bigger the monster, the bigger the threat. And the size of the monster here is comparable to Four Bears, but the monster's never a threat because of its size. Like obviously when it gets like super like Wilford Brimley big or whatever at the end there, like they had to like use like a bunch of explosives. But that kind of leads to my point. These guys are very well prepared. So if four bears attack them, they're prepared for packs of wolves to attack them. They're like, they understand that they're in a desolate like wasteland that any kind of creature could come up on them, and they're going to have to just deal with it. So this is the first time that it fails the Four Bears test, because the main characters are specifically equipped to handle four bears attacking them.
Yeah, they have like 6 shotguns in that case that Windows breaks open, and
like I feel like
they got dynamite, sticks of dynamite.
Any two combinations of our characters could handle four bears attacking them. That's how prepared they are.
Yeah. Four Bears can't build spaceships or imitate.
Right. There's also that side of it of like the sophistication, and like nobody's like going to be walking around like, which one of us is a bear? So the monsters got the beat on that.
Clark was a bear. His big beard. Yeah. He's a bear.
He was probably an undercover bear. Actually, he was probably 2 bears in a trench coat.
Dude, one thing I wanted to bring up too is that I mean, Four Bears aside, I the whole time, and this, I haven't seen it in so long, I couldn't remember who was actually infected. I thought Clark was one the whole time.
Dude, like,
first of all, there was such a good job of subverting, and you think it's one guy, and it's not.
There were too many characters for me to like make sense of who was even who to begin with before an alien started possessing them. Like, this is the first time I couldn't remember which black guy was which because they had 3 of them. Like, it's such a privileged position to be in. So yeah, like it was. I already lost my point with that, but like I'm just saying, like lots of characters, very hard to follow. I was very thankful for the blood test scene, so we could like once and for all get to the bottom of who is a freaking thing. Yeah, back to the Four Bears test though. It's a pretty clear cut fail. These guys would make quick work of Four Bears. What do you think, Joe?
I'm absolutely right. I think like just on the basis, like what Eric said, like Four Bears can't really like transform into things.
A point worth reiterating.
Yeah. On that same point though, one thing I forgot to say too is I really love how biologically gross and messy like a shapeshifter is in this. Like some like shapeshifters we see Mystique in X-Men, or like other kinds of shapeshifters are like really sleek and it's fast and quick. And I like how just gross and just like disgusting and like biological it feels,
Yeah, I love how it takes time too. Like, and it needs to be alone to do it because it does. It kind of needs that element of surprise on its side if it's infecting a certain organism like humans or wolves for that matter.
And I like that we don't necessarily ever actually see it in the act of transforming. I know it was probably like they already spent like 10% of the budget on the monster effects alone. So like I get why like they probably didn't also want to like show a monster like becoming a human, like what that would actually look like step by step.
Yeah.
But it also worked for the movie and just like that creepy, like a person just disappears and then they come back kind of way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Speaking of surprises, Khalid, would you fight or flirt with this monster?
Nice transition.
Why is that a surprise? This is a segment that we do every episode.
Eric liked it. Thanks, Eric.
I'm just busting your chops, buddy. This also kind of ties into my rationale for why it fails a 4 bears test. These guys are very equipped to handle this thing. So if I'm just another guy there, like flirting, I say fight or flirt because I'm using it as like my like cheeky survival instinct is to either fight or flirt with something. So like my survival instinct here is like barely even affected because like I'm ready for a fight. I am aware that at any moment any kind of creature could like come for me and I gotta fight for them. And I'm with a bunch of weathered dudes. Like the toughest among us wears a Pharrell cowboy hat, for God's sakes. Like nothing can affect us, nothing can phase us.
Right.
So it's it's just me and the boys just busting alien heads. Like that's a retreat, honestly.
Yeah, you have enough people on your team, but if it was just you,
oh, I'm dead then. What do you mean if it's just me? I don't even know.
No, but I mean, you might flirt with it.
I don't know if it's a thing until it comes at me. Like,
right.
I mean, by the rationale of the law of averages, I'll probably flirt with it, but that's just an accident. Like that's not.
You're just a
I don't have my survival in mind
man.
At that point.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, I get the bedroom eyes. I can't help it. I can't help myself.
Yeah, what I was gonna say is I would flirt with it.
You would flirt with it?
Well, here's the thing. Like, I mean,
to what end?
To the end of joining. Because either you die there and you're just dead, or you can join it. Fight.
Do you think they're alive then? All the people it like consumes?
You might be. Well, no, you're because it reconstructs you, right?
Windows is definitely dead. Like
you're right.
I know it turned
right,
him,
right.
But like the Windows, the person died when he got like hung over the dude,
right.
Like in his maw, getting like.
Oh my god, that was a great scene too.
And it's like clearly a
dummy body
like
just flapping
around. That was radical.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm just saying, like, I might flirt with it if it took the shape of, one of the, maybe there's like a sexy Norwegian scientist at the other place and she came by, but that's not present in this film. So I guess Yeah,
you can't make up characters to flirt with.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So what about you, Joe?
I just want to comment. I think this actually Eric's answer is really interesting because it kind of brings us full circle back to his favorite monster answer. You like hive mind stuff. You want to be part of a hive.
Yeah, I want to join that hive.
Yeah.
If you can't beat him, join him.
There you go.
Hashtag goals.
I just want to be a part of something, man. I just want to be a part of a team.
It sounds like you want to be a part of literally anything. Like, would you also like be eaten by a whale because then you're a part of a whale?
I didn't think about that one.
Okay, so
hey, Pinocchio did it.
So I'm fight. Eric is bewilderingly flirt. Joe.
I'm fight. I mean, I gotta be fight. I think. I don't know.
Yeah, you're just busting caps with the boys. It's so fun. Like you got drinks on deck.
Dude, that's another thing we should bring up is these guys are all alcoholics. Every single one of them.
Oh, all of them, yeah.
Of course, they literally only have each other in the middle of the Antarctic. You let them have their booze.
Yeah, you're right. I just thought it was funny how often they were
they're
drinking.
Smoking the joint too. I was like, that's how I know these are the guys for me.
Yeah. They're just watching old tapes of like, some celebrity game show.
Yeah, no, that is so cool.
Yeah,
so these guys get it.
They had a nice setup too. They had like a pool table. They had bars and a nice kitchen.
Yeah, their hangout spot was pretty tight. Yeah.
A nice little lounge area.
Yeah. Yeah, this movie just does a great yeah, you guys keep saying it, but like it's just a great job of like making it feel lived in, like it's a real place.
Yeah.
Yeah, and our friend Robbie actually brought up, our roommate Robbie Guerrero brought up the fact that they use those tether lines to cross between the locations, especially in the snowstorm. Like at one point he was like, I cut him loose, there's no way he can even get back probably because it's so dark and like wintry out there. And that's just such a cool element. Like,
yeah, he also brought up that Hateful Eight was
used those
very inspired by the movie's setting.
Oh. Yeah, they use those same tether lines to get between two of the buildings in there, and also it has Kurt Russell.
Yeah, that's Kurt Russell. He's being a meanie to Jennifer Jason Leigh in that movie, but he's there.
Oh, I haven't seen Hateful Eight. Should I see it?
I'm like mixed on it. I guess everybody should watch it.
It's okay.
Everybody should watch it once, I think.
It's worth it. All right.
Yeah.
I'll give it a shot.
It's another good movie where it's just like a small location, and you're kind of everyone's like.
It's like what if Tarantino made a play? Like that's what it is.
But is there a monster though?
No.
Well, Kurt
is racism a monster?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Oh, all right. There we go.
Just the abstract
Humans
concept of
monster.
racism is the monster.
All right. I think it was a good conversation. We should probably move on to our final segment, shouldn't we?
Let's do it.
All right. Our for Eric, our final segment of the show is our what the fandom section.
You really wound up to that one.
Every once in a while, I gotta do that. Yeah. So, what the fandom is, where we just kind of go around, share what we're into. It's sort of like the counter to that geek card question in the beginning. Like that's like your passions and what you're like really, really into. This is like what are you into right now? Like what's something you just watch? Like I'd recommend that. So I'll give you a bit to think.
I'll go last. I'm trying to think.
Yeah, Khalid and I'm not sure if we're going to do it, but those of you listening, we actually have a lost episode that was before this that we're going to try to re-record at a later time. Which is why there's sort of a gap in our releasing. But my What the Fandom is going to be the same that I did for my lost episode. So, Khalid, is yours? Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, go, Khalid.
My What the Fandom this week.
Thanks, Khalid.
Yeah, branding. Is gonna be the Steve McQueen. I guess you'd call it a mini series on Amazon Prime called Small Axe. It's a anthology series about the West Indian immigration to London between the 1960s and 80s, and we've only seen the first one, but like. I've based on like the praise and based on what I saw for myself in that first installment, I am so excited to finish this series, guys. It's so good. It's the first one that we watched is called Mangrove, and it's a pretty straightforward story about the Trinidadian immigrants that have like this small community that is relentlessly, and I mean relentlessly, terrorized by the police for no other reason than them being black people. And the movie does such a good job of splitting its narrative into two very distinct stories that it's one of the first movies I've seen that like it does such a sharp pivot, and they both hold up so strong. The star turns are great. Letitia Wright's in it. A bunch of other amazing British actors are featured in this. It's such a great showcase for them, and the writing, the filming, like all of it is just so on point, and I can't recommend it enough. Small Axe on Amazon Prime. Do yourself a favor, check it out.
Cool. And that's like a series of films, right? Like they're all like
that's
movies.
What's crazy about it. Like it's like he made like 5 feature films in like 2 years. It's insane. Like the one we saw was 2 hours runtime.
Are they all directed by the same guy?
Steve McQueen.
Damn. That's impressive.
Yeah. I gotta get on those.
Yeah. The first one's great.
All right. Cool. All right. My What the Fandom is a book that I recently finished that I really, really, really enjoyed. It got 5 stars for me on my Goodreads rating, but it's called Piranesi by Susanna Clarke, who wrote Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell several years back. It's kind of her second novel. It's an absolutely wild ride. It's like this mystery that just slowly unfolds throughout it, and I was just engrossed. Like I finished it within like I think 5 days. But I mean, it's a lean book. It's like only 200 some pages, but it's basically about this character Piranesi who lives in this giant house with statues everywhere, and the house is basically infinite, and he calls it the house, and it's all he knows. It's the world to him, and he believes like the house is kind of both God and the world. And he sees one other person who he calls the other, who kind of comes occasionally and asks him questions about stuff, and he doesn't know why. So he like weird things happen in this house, like there's tides, like the bottom floor is ocean, the top floor has clouds, and it's just him figuring out what's going on and him just like reacting to it's incredibly fascinating. Highly recommended. Check it out. Piranesi by Susanna Clarke.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah, it's really cool. Yeah. How about you, Eric?
For me, I mean, I don't know what to throw out here right now. The one show that I've been watching a lot lately with Khalid weekly is WandaVision, which I'll just put that out there. I mean, I know this gets kind of a mixed review on Twitter. A lot of people hate it, or
nobody has anything else to do.
Yeah,
That's the simplest answer.
It's the one thing to talk about.
The discourse is so like rabid. With this,
I that's the one thing I hesitate to bring it up, because it's like, what else can I say that hasn't been said? Like, obviously, like, and my my fandom card is not nearly as punched as Khalid, so he could be the one to talk about this. But one other show that we watched, I mean, this is a couple months ago now, but Watchmen was so good. My God, that's probably one of my top 5 favorite TV shows of all time now, and it's just that limited series and just the way they built on top of the world that already existed from the original graphic novel and the movie, is just incredible. Like,
all praises to Regina King.
Yes,
killing it.
Yeah, great recommendations. Like, those are big, but those are both really, really solid. I would agree with you.
Thank you.
I'm also a big WandaVision fan. I'm loving it so far.
Show's so good. Season finale is going to be coming out Friday for us. It's going to be already out by the time this episode is done, but I'm excited.
Yeah, me too.
Mm-hmm. Stoked.
All right, Eric. Thanks so much for being on the show today.
Thanks,
do you want to plug anything? I know you've been working on some projects and stuff.
The one thing I'd like to plug right now is probably this new drag queen show I've been working on. It's a variety show, and I've been editing that. It's called the Sherry Vine Variety Show, and it'll probably be coming out in a few months now. I mean, I'm still editing it, but my favorite episode, which I recommend, all you horror fans out there to check out, is going to be episode 5, and this is going to be on Amazon Prime. And the fun thing about it is, since it's a variety show and like it's comedy, they basically just mashed up a ton of different horror genres and different that you got. I guess I don't want to spoil anything, but I'll just throw it out there that there's multiple types of horror in this, and they just run through it really fast, and it's hilarious. So it's definitely a fun watch.
Sherry Vine Show. Check it out when it comes out in a few months. We'll make sure and plug it on the podcast channels too.
Absolutely.
Sweet.
Is there any other like socials or anything you want to plug where people could find you?
Yeah, sure. You can follow me on Instagram at Erik Kollasch, and then you can also follow me on Twitter at Erik Kollasch. And yeah,
give him a follow. Guy's got some great Bitcoin takes.
Yeah. If you need any information on Cardano, that's the one I'm really into. So I'm actually thinking of starting a YouTube channel as well, covering that, and then also probably just sketches that I make with Khalid and just fun stuff. So
we out here being goofy, y'all.
Yeah, keep a lookout.
Cool. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Eric. This conversation was as fun as I thought it was going to be. You picked an awesome movie. This is dope, man. Thank you.
Of course, man. Thank you guys for having me. Loved it.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to have you back sometime.
Definitely.
I'd love to.
Yeah, I'm going to have to figure out we'll figure out our schedules and stuff. It's like, it's hard for you to get all the way over here.
Right.
Meet up and
in my room.
Yeah, exactly. So, well, we'll make sure and give you enough notice.
Okay. I'd appreciate it. Yeah.
All right. We are probably going to do a re-record of the episode we lost for our next episode, which would be Underwater. And I think we're going to also do The Meg, if that's correct, Joe.
Our next episode's a double feature. A double feature.
Oh, double feature. I think it's our first on the pod. So
I think so. Cool. We're testing out, see how that goes.
Yeah.
What's the first one? The Meg and what else?
Underwater,
the one we watched.
Oh, I did see that. Yeah. Great movie.
Yeah. So, and that's the fun part for Eric, is he gets to watch all these movies with me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, if you wanna check those out before the next episode drops, we'll be doing The Meg and Underwater. So yeah, thank you guys for listening. And until next time, creep it easy.